chasing God and you just start chasing what you can do for God. When you start chasing Him first, your desires start aligning with His desires. But we just want to get to the destination. We don't want to go through the process. God doesn't call the equipped. He equips the called. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and to another Irina talk series. Today's one is a little bit different. I decided to do it at night. I wanted to film it during the day, but it just didn't work out. And now it's just raining and it's super cozy, and I decided that this would be the perfect time to just sit down with a cup of tea. And today's video is going to be stop chasing your calling and start chasing Christ. That's a pretty hefty statement, and I feel like it's just what I'm currently going through. And usually I have video ideas planned out for a while, specifically with the Irina talks, but this one just came to me like a couple days ago, and I just started jotting down a lot of things that came to my mind and are on my heart, and then things that I'm currently working through and going through. So this is very fresh and new to me, and a season that maybe you are in as well. So I'm just gonna be sharing my story, and let's just jump right into the video. So it says in the Bible to seek the kingdom first, and then everything else will follow after that. But I feel like we've kind of drifted away from that and just started to be like, okay, what's my calling? Like, what is my purpose in life? And then that becomes our main goal, which for me specifically, I'm very goal oriented and like productivity, and I love to get things done. And I feel like when I do things for God, I feel accomplished. Like that's when I feel like I'm doing something right. Or in general, when I'm doing something throughout my days, if it's like a productive day, I'm like, wow, that was a good day, and like I can go to sleep now. But when it was like a lagging day and it feels like I didn't do anything, I just feel like a failure, or like I start putting my identity in how much I can do and how much I can accomplish. And so with chasing your calling your whole life, just like what's my purpose, what's my calling, like what's the bigger picture, you stop chasing God and you just start chasing what you can do for God. And I don't think that's the main purpose and the main point of why we're here, is to chase this certain calling, like this big picture, like final result. What am I supposed to do for the rest of my life for God? And another verse in Psalms, it says, delight in the Lord and He will give you the desires of your heart. And so whenever we make our main focus the kingdom and chasing Him instead of the calling, He will give us the desires of our heart. Because when you start chasing Him first, your desires start aligning with His desires. But if we're chasing this like big picture of like, what am I supposed to do for you, God, we are not aligning with Him, because He is not the main priority. It's not about Him, it's about works. And you're thinking like, life cannot be just like this mundane everyday thing. Like there has to be something bigger that I'm doing for God. And so that becomes your main focus. I had a prophecy several years ago, before I was even married. It was specific but general. It was something about what I was going to be doing in the future, but pretty broad. So after I got that prophecy, I'm like, okay, started chasing like this bigger picture already. Like, what could it be? Could it be this? Could it be this? And I started trying out different things and doing different things, thinking that it would lead me to this bigger picture of like, you know, I got this prophecy, this should be it. And thing after thing, it would just fail or just not work out. And I was like, why is this happening? Like, this was a prophecy I got, why aren't these things working out? And then I realized that I was chasing my calling before I was chasing God and just him in general, instead of, you know, I got this prophecy and like, this is my goal now, this is the only thing that I think about, and this is what I should be working up towards. But God should always be the main priority in our minds. Even though there is a calling in the back of your mind, he should be the one that you delight in, and that calling will come in its perfect timing. But my mistake was that I'm just chasing this calling and like, could it be this, trying out this, and who knows, maybe a lot of those things are preparing me for the bigger picture. My mindset was, what can I do for him, and what can I do to make this calling come quicker into my life, rather than just accepting it and still making him my first priority. And maybe it's in the mundane, everyday, daily tasks, my attitude, my emotions is what can be preparing me for the bigger picture, whatever it might be in your life. But if we're constantly just chasing the big thing and we don't want to go through the planting, through the growth, through the pruning, which hurts, pruning does hurt, but there are some things that God needs to prune out of your life, and people, things, whatever it might be, he needs to take out for you to live out your calling. But we just want to get to the destination. We don't want to go through the process, because it's so much easier to get there, but you can't get there without the process. That is part of your end result. Think about it as if it's like a road trip. Sometimes it starts out and it's great, and then it becomes rocky, and then you get a flat tire, and then, you know, the road is super long and it's hills and valleys for hours. Like, it's not always fun and games, and life is like a road trip sometimes. You have to get through the road trip to get to the end result, and everything might not always work out the way that you think it will, but just always know that God is working in your life no matter what season you're going through. I heard this quote a while ago, and it's been sticking with me whenever I feel like I'm not living out this calling, this bigger picture that everybody seems to have found in their life. God doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called. So he doesn't call the ones that are ready to do everything and have everything set up in their life. He calls people and then he equips them during the way. So for me, for example, I got that prophecy. It's like right away, okay, what am I supposed to do? But he calls me and then he equips me, which takes a process. Equipping requires pruning, which produces into endurance, produces into self-discipline. I feel like I'm not even drinking my tea. Finally cooled down. And then I love this candy. It's so yummy. It's like a Ferrero Rocher, but white chocolate. And it's so good. I feel like certain seasons of life that we go through, it's easier to see your calling versus other seasons. You're just like, okay, I'm getting close to it, like I finally have reached this, and then before you know it, before you think that you've solved the puzzle, God turns that puzzle from a 100 piece to a 500 piece, and you're like, what just happened? You know, you feel like you finally are connecting the dots, and then it's like, well, that didn't work out, or I didn't think it was gonna go this way. And then we have to take a step back. We get confused, we get discouraged when we finally think that we've reached the destination, and then it seems like we just took 5 steps back. But like I said, just always know that God is in the works. No matter how many steps you feel like you took back or you took forward, he's always doing his thing. And in the middle of, your discouragement, keep looking at him, keep delighting in him, keep putting the kingdom first. Our main goal, our main point is not the calling. Keep seeking him first, and the puzzles will keep aligning. But if we let our setbacks and our discouragements and our failures and our thoughts and our feelings and just like our little bad days or bad weeks, if we let them get to us and then say, well, I guess I'm done now, I'm not going to do anything else, then that is really what's going to put us down. But our thoughts and our minds are very powerful, and that's why if you just keep delighting in him and making him the most important thing, no matter what circumstances you're going through, just praising him through the circumstances, that is what will keep you going. I also was watching a video, and they were mentioning how when you focus on this like big picture, this final result instead of the process, it makes it so much harder for you to see God in the little things, because you're so focused on like, the more I do, the bigger things that I do, the more proud that God is going to be of me. But instead of saying, what is my calling, say, what do you want me to be doing in this certain season of my life? What is it that you want me to accomplish in this like quieter season, or in this busy season, or whatever it is, that whatever season that you're going through right now? Not saying, oh, I feel like I'm not living out this big calling that you have for me, but just saying, in this certain season, how can I still bring you glory? We need to be grateful and fruitful in the small so that he can trust us with the big. Because if we are ungrateful and just sit around whenever we feel like nothing big is going on in our lives, how can he trust us and give us something bigger to be responsible for whenever we can't even thank him or produce fruit in the small? And going back to the puzzle, what even makes up the puzzle? It's the little puzzle pieces. It's not just like you see this huge puzzle and that's it. It's the little components that make up your bigger calling. But sometimes it's harder for us to like separate, this big thing that God has planned out for our lives, rather than the everyday mundane daily tasks of like, am I even being fruitful to him and for his kingdom in this like motherhood or working or being single or whatever it might be? But he is in everything, even if we don't feel like he is, or even if we have our bad days or good days, he still remains the same. It doesn't matter how you feel, what you think, what you don't think, he always remains the same. So whenever we come back to him and his word, he will keep reminding us of the things that matter most. And that's why it says to delight in him, because whenever we delight in him, he shows us the way, and he shows us the true joy and happiness, and that we can't find happiness in our calling. And no matter how much we do for him and do for his kingdom, if we can't find happiness in him, there's no calling or no big works that will fulfill our calling and our heart's desires like he will. And so to wrap this video up, he truly knows how much we can handle right now, and he knows how much to entrust you with, and he knows whenever to expand our capacity of our calling in our life. And we just need to be enjoying every single season. I feel like right now I'm going through a slower season, and I'm not good with slow. Like, I love being out and about, doing stuff, just like going out. But it's just been like a, fall, slower season, and it's just taken me a step back, and I'm like, how can I still be fruitful for the kingdom in a slower season of life? Like being a mother, staying at home, not really seeing a lot of people, like people get the opportunity to be out and work and stuff every single day. They can preach the gospel, and I'm like, okay, I'm at home right now. How can I still be fruitful to you? And I feel like this is just a season of growth for me, but it's that kind of internal growth that might not be as visible to my eye or other people's eyes, but it's just a lot of internal growth and a lot of self-reflection that is going on. But I just wanted to encourage anyone out there that is also going through the same thing of trying to figure out what God is calling them to, or how they can be glorifying his name through whatever season they are going through. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and comment down below anything that I could be praying for you guys. If there's a certain need on your heart, or you can message me in private. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in my next video.